All right, here it is, 1991 Volvo 240 Wagon. I picked this up while I was still living in California from a guy out here in Utah for $600, and I've been working on it ever since. I've definitely sunk most of my budget into it so far. If you've seen some of the other videos, you've known I've done the head gasket, new radiator, and several other various jobs to make sure the car is running well. And I actually just got the car back from the shop where we did the motor mounts. We weren't able to get the AC done, but that is still on the list in the future. Hopefully be able to get that done. I picked the Wagon because it's just cool, and as I've recently found out, the ratio in the back is a little bit different than the sedans, so you get a little bit more pep as you're driving it. Now, you saw that I painted the hood, so it's a little bit different color from the rest of the body, but I think it's close enough. And at some point I'll be repainting the whole car, I think. Most of the trim on here is still good. I've got some trim pieces in the back. I'm considering just removing all of the trim there and either bondoing the holes or doing something there, possibly putting a stripe on the car. We'll see. Some trim missing down there at the bottom. Got the faded sun reflectors here, or sun guards there. Faded paint throughout. I was working on the roof rack, trying to get it painted up nice and sharp, but I ran out of paint, and me being the lazy person that I am, I haven't gone out and got another can of paint to finish up the job, so I just put it back on the way that it is. Rims are nothing too exciting. Running snow tires still from the winter. I'll need to get some summer tires here pretty soon, I think. It makes a lot of noise when I drive. I do think if I put some real effort into this paint, I can get it to buff out and get real good and shiny. You can see a little bit there. A little bit of shine under this dirt. It needs a bath. Got some chunks of wax still on the glass. It needs some suspension work, but I think I want to do all of that at once. Maybe go with the Bilsteins throughout, give it a nice comfortable ride. There's about 300 miles on the odometer, I think. Well, not on the odometer. The odometer broke at 250,000, but it had been running for several years after that. I think 3 years now at this point. So, you know, it could be getting close to 300,000, maybe closer to 270, 280. Shocks in the back work, so pull this up. There you go. I'm trying to fix the rear latch. That's why that's off. We do have the rear-facing seats, which I'm very excited about. And of course the obligatory blanket over the back seats, just because that's fun. Overall, I'm really happy with this car. It's been a pleasure to drive. It's been quite reliable. And modifications that we're going to be doing to this. First, let's talk about the parts car that I picked up. You remember the gold Volvo that I picked up, where I pulled out the driver's side turn signal lens. The one on the Wagon was all cracked, so I pulled the one off of the parts car for that. I pulled off the new grille because the one that came off the Wagon had a big old crack right there. You can see on the other car, I painted the grille black and just stuck it back in there and sort of JB welded the area there. I do want to do the round headlight conversion on this car that I did on the gold car, because I think that just looks great. And plus I'd like to actually be able to see while I'm driving at night. Let's see, inside modifications. One of these is not like the other. That would be the brown seat pulled out of the gold 240 sedan, because this one came without a seat. Other bits are the tachometer is going to go right there once I get that installed. I do need to get a center console here. I think that's on the way. I've got a guy that I'm purchasing one from. And you'll see I got the door pockets here, which I'm very happy about. Picked those up at a car show meet and greet that I went to last week. And I also picked up these real slick lock pins from a guy who 3D prints these. If you're interested in picking up a set of those, I think he charged us $5 or $10 for these. Got all four in. He got the thread pitch right and all of that. I'm missing the bezel here, so it doesn't sit as pretty as it should. That's my fault. It idles a little rough right now, but I think that's due to spark plugs or possibly some other ignition issue. I think the fuel's working just great. I put the highest grade fuel in that I can just because I want to preserve the engine and it's worth the cost to me. If that's wrong or incorrect thinking, let me know. Oh, and one other issue that you may know from my head gasket videos is that the downpipe from the exhaust manifold, the bracket had broken loose. So it was originally held up with a couple of hose clamps, which worked fine for a time, but when I put it all back together, I decided I was just going to solve that issue later. The Volvo shop that I took the car to, they went ahead and welded that all back together, so the exhaust leak is gone now. So quiet. It's a great little car. Very happy to have it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.